Hello, and welcome to World of Tech, where I try to give info about a topic that I think will be useful to any average consumer, not just the tech enthusiast among us. Today, I'll be talking about how the internet works in your home, whether you should be using a wired or wireless connection, and how you might be able to save money. The internet is defined as a global wide area network that connects computer systems across the world, which simply means that the internet connects devices all across the world to each other. The simple definition of how the internet works is when you search for something, it divides the response up into packets and sends it back to your computer. Every day, we are constantly using technology, whether through your smart assistants, using Google Maps on your phone, or watching Netflix. To connect to the internet, there are two main ways of connecting: wired and wireless connections, and we will be talking about those today. To talk about the internet, you first need to know what bandwidth is. Bandwidth is defined as the maximum amount of data transferred through your router to the rest of the internet. This is important because this limits how many devices can go at the max speed. The definition of a router is a device that takes requests from all the devices and puts them through a modem. They can be any size and shape and usually has one modem port and 4 Ethernet ports, shown here, which is how you connect for wired internet. There are different versions of Wi-Fi, with the newest one being Wi-Fi 6, which supports higher speed and covers more area. This has been the standard for a couple of years now, and newer devices should support it if both the router and the device have it. The definition of a modem is a device that connects the router to the wider internet. So the router connects the devices to itself, and the modem connects the router to the wider internet. Most modems have 2 ports. A coax port, shown here, goes to the outside world, and an Ethernet plug that connects to the router. There are not actually any standards, but look at articles if you want to buy one, but you should be okay with one from your internet provider, or as it's better known, your ISP. A big thing to keep in mind if you have issues with your internet is if you have congestion or not. Congestion is defined as when a network is overfilled with way too much data. This occurs if you have too many devices on your network all using the internet at the same time and are affected by how much bandwidth you use. To help solve this, you can turn off all devices you're not using or disconnect them from the internet when you're not using them. This will help with congestion, and then your internet speed should be faster. Depending on what plan you have for your internet speed, what you can do varies greatly. To do most tasks, you need at least 40 to 100 megabits per second, and that should work okay. But if you know you will be using a lot of devices accessing the network at the same time, you probably want to go for more like 100, and you will be a lot better off. If you only have like one person on the network at a time, less than 40 might be possible, but I'm not sure, and I would not go with it. Next, I want to talk about wired versus wireless internet and the differences between them. Wireless internet is an internet that you connect to without a cable and just receive the Wi-Fi from your router over the air. Wired internet is when you connect directly to the internet router through an Ethernet cable, shown here. Having wired internet is more rare for most people, so there's a high chance you will use wireless. When choosing between wireless and wired internet, you tend to consider stability versus convenience. Wireless connections tend to be a lot less stable, but are more convenient for you to use because they can be used from anywhere in your house. Wired, on the other hand, is very stable, and you will not see large cuts in speed unless the router goes down, which very rarely happens. Though it's less convenient because it requires you to have a wire connected to your computer at all times. Wired is also much better because the signal is not lost like it is over the air, so if you need max speed, you should use wired. My recommendation for this would be to use wired if you can, and have a very high need for speed, and it would cause a lot of problems if the internet drops out. But otherwise, you can just use wireless. Next, I want to talk about how you can save money with a bit of work by not paying your ISP to rent your router. Right now, you're probably paying a monthly fee for your router, and if you want to buy one, it will pay for itself eventually, because you're no longer paying a monthly fee. Just check your ISP's website and find out if it would be cheaper for you to buy your own router. Please do not get freaked out by the price of the router because they're expensive, and just know it will be cheaper in the long run to buy your own, and just make sure it is not worse quality than the ISP ones by looking it up and comparing the specs. And see if you really need, and if it is unsupported by your ISP, do not do it. If you plan on doing this, please look at the questions on your ISP's website so you know it is supported and the router you've chosen is okay. This may be hard to find, but is well worth it. As with most of my videos, I want to end with talking about how to shop for Wi-Fi and a router. First, routers usually come from the internet service provider, so if you don't need to buy one immediately, even though I would recommend it. When shopping for a router, look for recommendations in a company like CNET because they're usually solid, and don't just buy based on a recommendation from like eBay or Amazon. So, good luck trying to improve your internet speed and hopefully saving money. I really hope this video helped, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Also, please let me know what devices you want me to cover in the comment section below. So, that's it for World of Tech. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.